Imagine walking onto a stage as a shy 13-year-old and leaving as the most famous person on the planet, only to vanish into total silence. In 2018, Courtney Hadwin didn't just audition for America's Got Talent. She detonated a cultural bomb. We all remember the footage, the nervous fidgeting, the stuttering introduction, and then that primal, earth-shattering scream that channeled the ghost of Janis Joplin herself. Simon Cowell called her a lion. The golden buzzer rained down, and overnight, she was a global phenomenon with hundreds of millions of views. But then, the trail went cold. While other finalists were booking Vegas residencies and dropping radio singles, the girl who was supposed to save rock and roll seemed to evaporate from the public eye. For years, the only thing louder than her voice was the silence that followed it. News outlets scrambled for updates, but her social media became a graveyard of vague, coming soon posts. Fans started to wonder if the pressure had finally broken her, or if the industry that claimed to love her had actually swallowed her whole. The missing star of AGT became a cautionary tale of viral fame gone wrong, leaving a massive void where a superstar should have been. But as we dig deeper into the timeline leading up to 2026, it becomes clear that Courtney wasn't just resting. She was navigating a professional minefield that would have destroyed most seasoned veterans twice her age. What looked like a disappearance was actually the start of a quiet, desperate struggle for survival. And the reasons behind her sudden exit from the limelight are far darker than anyone initially suspected. Was the world's most famous shy girl actually a carefully crafted illusion designed by TV executives? As Courtney's fame skyrocketed, a wave of digital investigators began digging into her past, and what they found sent shockwaves through the fanbase. It was revealed that Courtney wasn't the untrained amateur the show portrayed. She had already been a finalist on The Voice Kids UK and had performed at major festivals long before stepping foot on the AGT stage. Suddenly, the narrative of the nervous schoolgirl was under fire. Rumors of being an industry plant began to circulate, with critics claiming her entire persona, the stutter, the awkwardness, the surprise factor, was a calculated performance. This controversy wasn't just a minor PR hiccup. It was a full-scale assault on her credibility. In an era where authenticity is the only currency that matters, being labeled a fake is a career death sentence. Courtney found herself caught between the fans who felt betrayed and the producers who wanted to keep the shy girl myth alive. But the truth was even more complex. While the public debated whether she was a plant, Courtney was dealing with the reality of being a child star in an adult world that demanded she be a product first and a human second. She was being pulled in a dozen different directions by managers and advisors, each with a different vision for her future. The girl who just wanted to sing the blues was suddenly the centerpiece of a multi-million-dollar marketing war. But while the industry plant rumors were loud, they were nothing compared to the legal nightmare that was brewing behind the scenes with her new record label. What happens when the man who gave you a golden buzzer signs a contract that effectively silences you for half a decade? Following her explosive run on television, Courtney signed a massive joint venture deal with Simon Cowell's Syco and Arista Records. On paper, it looked like the ultimate win, the backing of the most powerful man in music. However, as the months turned into years, the golden child of AGT remained suspiciously absent from the charts. Our investigation into these types of high-stakes contracts reveals a pattern of what many call contract jail. In these scenarios, a label signs a viral sensation to prevent competitors from having them, but then puts their project on the back burner, effectively shelving the artist while they wait for the perfect, most profitable pop moment. For a raw, gritty rock performer like Courtney, the pop machine was a nightmare. Sources close to the situation suggest that the label wanted to polish her, smooth out the edges, and turn her into a radio-friendly hit maker. Courtney, however, refused to compromise her sound. This led to a stalemate that lasted for years. While her peers were releasing albums, Courtney was stuck in a cycle of endless studio sessions that never saw the light of day. She was legally prohibited from releasing music on her own, Yet the label refused to put out the music she actually wanted to make. It was a high-stakes game of chicken with her career on the line. She was rich in fame but bankrupt in creative freedom, trapped by the very deal that was supposed to make her a legend. And as the 2020s rolled on, the frustration began to boil over into a secret legal battle that few saw coming. After years of being told no, Courtney finally decided to stop asking for permission and started a revolution of her own. By early 2025, the music industry was buzzing with reports of a massive shakeup in Courtney Hadwin's camp. After years of being shelved, she finally managed to navigate her way out of the massive corporate contracts that had held her back. This wasn't a clean break. It was a messy, complex divorce from the major label system. While we have to be careful with the specifics of the legalities, accusations surfaced regarding how her image and career were managed during her teenage years. Courtney didn't just leave her label, she completely rebranded herself, scrubbing the child star image from her identity. She began working with independent producers and rock veterans who respected her vision rather than trying to monetize her viral potential. This period of her life was marked by a grit and determination that the public rarely sees. She wasn't just fighting for a hit song, she was fighting for the right to be an adult artist with her own agency. The result was her debut album, Little Miss Jagged, a project that served as a middle finger to everyone who tried to put her in a box. The music was loud, distorted, and unapologetically honest. It didn't sound like a pop star trying to be edgy. It sounded like a woman who had been kept in a cage for 5 years and finally found the key. This silent rebellion was the turning point that allowed her to transition from a TV curiosity into a respected musician. But the road to her 2026 global dominance was still paved with obstacles that would test her resolve one last time. In 2026, the girl who vanished returned not as a contestant, but as a titan of the modern rock scene. If you look at the charts today, Courtney Hadwin is no longer a footnote in reality TV history. Her 2026 world tour has been a masterclass in rebranding, selling out iconic venues across Europe and the United States. She's no longer the shy girl who hides behind her hair. She's a commanding, high-voltage performer who has been invited to share the stage with rock legends. But this comeback wasn't just about the music. It was about a total transformation of her public image. Recent rumors of a secret battle with her health and the mental toll of child stardom have been addressed with a raw honesty that has only made her fans more loyal. She has become a vocal advocate for artist rights, using her own contract jail experience to warn other young performers about the dangers of the industry. Her story has shifted from one of wasted potential to one of ultimate triumph. Even the critics who once called her a plant are now forced to acknowledge her sheer talent and longevity. She has successfully navigated the death valley of child stardom, that period where most young stars either fade away or spiral out of control. Instead, she emerged as a global icon, a 2026 version of a rock star that feels both vintage and entirely new. She isn't just singing the blues anymore, she's living them, and the world is finally listening to her on her own terms. The girl who once needed a golden buzzer to be heard now has the entire world hanging on every note. Was the failure of Courtney Hadwin's early career actually the secret ingredient to her becoming a global icon? Looking back from our 2026 perspective, it's clear that Courtney's missing years were the most important part of her journey. Had she released a generic pop album in 2019, she likely would have been a flash in the pan, another name on the long list of forgotten talent show winners. By being forced to fight for her identity, she gained a level of depth and authenticity that can't be manufactured in a boardroom. She survived the industry plant allegations, broke free from the golden handcuffs of predatory contracts, and reinvented herself when the world had already written her off. Her story is a powerful reminder that slow and steady often wins the race in an industry obsessed with fast and viral. Today, Courtney Hadwin stands as a symbol of resilience. She proved that you can be exposed to the world at 13 and still find a way to own your narrative by 21. As she continues to dominate the global stage, we are left to wonder how many other young talents are currently sitting in contract jail, waiting for their moment to break free. Courtney's journey isn't just about a girl with a big voice. It's a blueprint for any artist trying to survive the machine. The shy girl from Durham didn't just survive America's Got Talent. She survived the music industry itself. And in 2026, that is the most shocking revelation of all.